What's up, guys? My name's TechnoTuner, and today I'm bringing to you my Trickstar deck profile. This deck is a lot of fun. One of my friends plays this religiously, and she has a lot of fun with this. This is one of the few decks that I would recommend if you're trying to get somebody into the game to have a lot of fun with. This is one of the decks that has that capability of bringing newer players in while also giving them a little bit of a taste of what they can do for a burn deck or just a more combo-centric deck. So let's go ahead and hop right on into it. This deck is more based around having fun, being able to try and keep up with the meta, but it does lack some mainstay components just to be able to really stay in touch. So for the starters, we play 3 Trickstar Candina. This card, when normal summon, you can add 1 Trickstar card from your deck to your hand, and then each time your opponent activates a spell or trap effect, you get to inflict 200 damage to them immediately after it resolves, which can help you out a lot. Next, I play 3 Trickstar Lycris. This card is nuts because if your opponent tries to imperm Trickstar Candina, you can activate Lycris in hand, bounce it back, then special summon Trickstar Lycris, which can then burn your opponent for 200 damage for each time a card is added to their hand, which can help you get around certain plays while also enabling you to further get your search off Candina. Next, I play 3 Trickstar Hoodie. This card is really good because if you control a Trickstar Fusion or Link monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard as material for a Trickstar Link summon, you can add 1 Trickstar Fusion or Defusion from your deck to your hand, but it is just a good overall extender if you get into your Link plays. Next, we play 2 Trickstar Nightshade. This card, if it's sent to the graveyard as Link material for a Link summon of a Trickstar monster, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. So basically, you're using this card as more of a way to further Link climb if you need to. For the one-ofs, we play 1 Trickstar Korribane, 1 Trickstar Aqua Angel, and 1 Trickstar Lilybell. Trickstar Korribane, if you control no monsters or all the monsters you control are Trickstar monsters, you can special summon this card during the damage step. However, when your Trickstar monsters battles an opponent's monster, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. As a quick effect, that monster you control gains attack equal to its original attack until the end of this turn. It's kind of like an Honest, but in a worse shape, but it is a good extender overall. Then you have Trickstar Aqua Angel. Link monsters this card points to cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, you can only use each of the following effects once per duel. If you control a Trickstar or Marincess monster, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard as Link material, you can look at all cards in your opponent's hand and all set cards they control, thus giving you hand knowledge and field knowledge. Trickstar Lilybell. If this card is added to your hand, except by drawing it, you can special summon it from your hand. You can only use the effect of Trickstar Lilybell once per turn. This card can attack directly. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target 1 Trickstar monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand, which is great for recursion. Alright, so let's go ahead and hop right into the non-engine that we run for this deck so it can compete a little bit with decks at locals. We run 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Joel and Lockbird, 3 Effect Veiler, and 2 Nibiru. Given the amount of something that this deck does, it can die due to a Nibiru if you play into it incorrectly. However, you have the capabilities of playing around your opponent by Ash Blossoming a Dire Search, Joel unlocking them, which can basically shut out their entire hand if you need it to, or Effect Veilering a important normal summon. If they go into something that is combo intensive, you can Nibiru them to get rid of their board and then be able to play around it. It helps a lot with the actual deck playability. Alright, let's go ahead and hop right on into the spells. If I were to swap any of the hand traps, it'd probably be the Nibiru, since that card is now going down in playability, given that a lot of the decks can still play through Nibiru, and would probably replace it with Molcharmy Fualos or Perulia. Either way, let's hop into the spells. We play 3 Trickstar Festival. This card essentially summons 2 Trickstar tokens, and if a Trickstar monster you control would that was special summoned from the extra deck would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. You cannot normal or special summon monsters the turn you activate this card except Trickstar monsters, which is perfectly fine. That's all we're really doing. Next, we play 3 Trickstar Light Stage. As this Field Spell is our main field spell that allows us to get a search while also interrupting our opponent's back row plays. When this card is activated, you can add one Trickstar monster from your deck to your hand. Once returned, you can target one card on the field in your opponent's spell and trap zone while this card is in the field zone. That set card cannot be activated until the end phase, and your opponent must activate it during the end phase or else send it to the graveyard. Each time a Trickstar monster you control inflicts battle or effect damage to your opponent, inflict 200 additional damage to them. This is insane because it basically turns any effect into an additional 200 damage, which can whittle down your opponent's life points, making it to where they have to start thinking about how they're going to play around that. Next, for the one-ofs, I play one Trickstar Live Stage, which is really good because it's another field spell. However, when this card is activated, add one Trickstar monster from your graveyard to your hand. So it's a good way to get recursion back for a monster that you want from your graveyard to your hand. You can only use each of the following effects once returned. Also, you cannot special summon monsters the rest of the turn you activate, except Trickstar monsters. If you control a Trickstar Link monster, you can special summon one Trickstar token, Fairy Light level 1, attack 0, defense 0, which can help you go into your Link 1 plays. If your opponent controls a card in their spell and trap zone, you can special summon one Trickstar token as well, which can also help you further your play by going into a Link 2, or continuing up with something else. Next, we have one Angel of the Blue Tears, one Trickstar Fusion, one Terraforming, and one Call By. Angel of the Blue Tears allows you to target one face-up monster on the field. Its controller's opponent takes damage equal to the number of cards in their hand times 200, then negate the effects, the target's effects until the end phase of this turn. If effect damage is inflicted, you can banish this card from your graveyard, set one normal trap directly from your hand or deck. If set from the hand, it can be activated this turn, which can help out a lot. Trickstar Fusion. Fusion summon one Trickstar Fusion monster from your extra deck by using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target one Trickstar monster in your graveyard, add to your hand, but you cannot normal summon or set or special summon monsters with that name for the rest of this turn, which is perfectly fine. It's a way to get Candeena back into your hand if you need to. Then Terraforming is our field spell searcher, and then Call by the Grave just basically enables us to play around those pesky hand traps we don't want to deal with. All right, so what about traps? Well, for the traps, we play one Trickstar Reincarnation, one Trickstar Diffusion, one Maiden in Blue, or Maiden of Blue Tears, and then 3 Infinite Impermanents. Trickstar Reincarnation Chain Withdrawal basically is a hand rip where you cannot get any draws for your opponent during their turn, because if they add a card, you can chain Trickstar Reincarnation and chain Droll to further prevent them from drawing back up. Next is Trickstar Diffusion. You can activate one of these effects. Fusion summon one Trickstar Fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing its materials from your graveyard. Immediately after this effect resolves, Link summon one Trickstar Link monster. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Trickstar monster you control. This turn, while that monster is face up on your field, your opponent's monsters can only target that monster for attacks. You can only use each effect of Trickstar Diffusion once per turn. This card is very nuts because it can turn Holly Angel into a bigger target and make it to where they have to attack into your big Holly Angel, given the amount of damage that it has seen happen, it gains the attack. So it can go from a small 2k to a 4200 or even bigger. Maiden of the Blue Tears is really nuts because if your opponent special summons a monster and you control a Link monster, except during the damage step, target one of them, destroy it, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half its original attack. If effect damage is inflicted while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, then target one normal spell in your graveyard to banish it, set it, but it cannot be activated this turn, which is perfectly fine because you're basically going to be utilizing that during your opponent's turn, just to get you reoccurability for the next turn. That's all for the main deck that I do run for the Trickstar deck overall. However, what do I run for the extra deck? The extra deck, I run one Band Drumatis. It takes 2 Trickstar monsters. Trickstar Link monsters you control that point to this card gain 1000 attack. You can only use each of the following effects of Band Drumatis once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you can add one Trickstar card from deck to hand with a different name from the cards you control and in your graveyard. If effect damage is inflicted, except during damage step, you can target one face-up monster on the field. Its attack becomes 0, which can help you out a lot. Then we have one Trickstar Band Sweet Guitar. It's one Trickstar Link monster plus one Trickstar monster. Effect damage inflicted to your opponent by a Trickstar Link monster linked to this card is doubled. If your opponent takes damage by a Trickstar monster's effect, this card gains attack equal to the damage they took. Once returned during the end phase, if this card attacked this turn, the attack gained from this effect returns to 0, then you can add a Trickstar monster from your graveyard to your hand. So it's a great way to basically turn it into a bigger beater, while also giving you the capability of adding a card from your graveyard back to your hand. The rest of the deck is mainly Link monsters. We're playing 2 Trickstar Bloom as our Link 1s, which requires 1 level 2 or lower Trickstar monster. If this card is Link summoned, you can make your opponent draw 1 card. If a face-up Trickstar monster this card points to is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each card in their hand, which can help a lot. Then we play 2 Trickstar Colchica, the other Link 1. It requires 1 non-Link Trickstar monster. You can special summon Trickstar Colchica once per turn. While a monster is destroyed by battle involving your Trickstar monster, while this card is in your graveyard, banish this card, target that destroyed monster. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's attack, which can help out if you're wanting to do some more burn damage. Next, we play 2 Noble Angel, which is very helpful because it requires 2 Trickstar monsters. If this card is Link summoned, you can add 1 Blue Tears card from your deck to your hand. If you have a fusion summon monster on your field or in the graveyard, you can target 1 Trickstar monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Its effect damage is inflicted. If effect damage is inflicted, you can target 1 face-up card in the field and destroy it, which can really help you get through those monsters or cards you don't want to see on your opponent's board. Next, there is 1 Trickstar Dividaris, which can help you further inflict more damage because you can only control 1 Trickstar Dividaris. If this card is special summoned, you can inflict 200 damage to your opponent. If your opponent normals or special summons a monster, inflict 200 damage to your opponent. So overall, when it's summoned, you inflict 200, and then when they summon either normal summon or special summon, you're inflicting 200 per that summon. Next, we play 1 Black Cat Bat. 2 Trickstar monsters. Each time a monster this card points to is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, inflict 200 damage to your opponent. Each time your opponent takes damage by a Trickstar monster's effect, face-up monsters they control lose 200 attack for each monster this card points to until the end of this turn, which can help a lot with lowering the attack, being able to allow your monsters to beat over your opponent's monsters. Next, we play 1 Crimson Heart. This card is really great because each time a Trickstar monster is normal or special summon to zone this card points to, you gain 200 life points. You can discard 1 Trickstar card, but players draw 1 card, but if your life point was at least 2,000 higher than your opponent's when this effect was activated, you could draw 2 instead. So given the burn damage that you're already doing, this turns into basically a +2 off effect activation. For other cards that we do play, we play the 2 Holly Angel, because each time a Trickstar monster is normal or special summoned to a zone this card points to, you get to inflict 200 damage to your opponent. Trickstar monsters this card points to cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. If your opponent takes damage by a Trickstar monster's effect, this card gains attack equal to the damage they took until the end of this turn. So this can go really big. I've seen it where it goes to about 42 to 5200 attack just off effect activations. Next, for our 1 Link 3, we play 1 Trickstar Foxglove Witch. If this card is special summoned, you can inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each card they control. If this Link summon card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 Link 2 or lower Trickstar monster from your extra deck and inflict 200 damage for each to your opponent for each card they control. Thus, just furthering more damage that your opponent's going to be taking. Next is the boss of the Trickstar monsters, which is Trickstar Bella Madonna. It's 2+ Trickstar monsters. While this Link summon card points to no monsters, it is unaffected by other cards' activated effects. If this card points to no monsters, you can inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each Trickstar monster in the graveyard with a different name. Given that we're running a lot of Trickstar monsters, you can inflict anywhere from, let's see, any Trickstar monster. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 times 200. That's 3k damage to your opponent if you really need to. If you have all 15 in there. So you can inflict anywhere from at least 200 all the way up to 200 damage to 3,000 damage, depending. And then, of course, we play the Trickstar tokens because why not? Overall, this deck is a lot of fun to play, has a lot of capabilities of just burning your damage and punishing them for even playing the game. But I would recommend it for a good starter deck for somebody that wants to learn how chain links work, learn a deck in and out, and be able to have that anime deck that you know is going to get support later on down the line. It's also a fan favorite for some people. Outside of that, guys, I hope you did enjoy today's deck profile, as it is a lot of fun just to play and see what the actual deck can do. I'll try to have a test hands up later for this deck, but in the meantime, I hope you all did enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Is it okay if I'm to say I'm catching feelings from all the dealings? Am I astray? What do you say? How are you feeling? Is it the same?